Most people think they're too late. They see headlines about Bitcoin hitting all-time highs and they picture a game already won by others. They hear stories of early adopters turning a few dollars into fortunes and assume their chance has passed. But that belief is one of the biggest illusions in finance, because Bitcoin isn't like anything that came before it. It's not a stock, a company, or a trend that peaks and fades. It's a protocol, still in the early chapters of a centuries-long story. When you zoom out, you realize this. Even owning a small share of the network, 0.1 Bitcoin, could one day place you among the few who truly understand money. If you'd rather understand value than chase noise, hit like and subscribe. It helps more than you think. Every generation underestimates scarcity until it's gone. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That number isn't marketing. It's a fixed constant in the code, the digital equivalent of a law of nature. Now divide that by 8 billion people on Earth. You get less than 0.003 Bitcoin per person, about 300,000 sats each. That's the mathematical upper limit of equality in this system. But here's the part most overlook. Not all Bitcoins still exist. Around 4 million have been lost, maybe more, destroyed on forgotten hard drives, locked in wallets without keys, buried with people who never realized what they held. That means the effective supply is closer to 17 million. And when you remove institutional holdings, ETFs, and cold storage reserves, the actual liquid Bitcoin left for individuals keeps shrinking every year. So if you hold 0.1 BTC, around 10 million sats, you already own far more than 99% of the world's population will ever touch. You're not late, you're early, just at a quieter point in the story. Let's talk about numbers, the kind that cut through emotion. At $100,000 per Bitcoin, 0.1 BTC equals $10,000. At 500,000, it's $50,000. At 1 million, it's $100,000. Straightforward. But that's not where the real power lies. The true value of Bitcoin isn't its dollar price. It's the ratio of ownership. Imagine a future where sovereign funds, pension managers, and corporations collectively own half of all mined Bitcoin. That leaves roughly 10 million coins for everyone else. 10 million coins, 8 billion people. Even if adoption grows slowly, each 0.1 Bitcoin becomes an increasingly scarce position in the new monetary order, and scarcity, over time, does what it always does. It concentrates value. Now imagine global adoption at even 10%. That's 800 million people chasing the same 10 million coins. The math doesn't lie. There simply isn't enough to go around. That's why understanding 0.1 BTC today isn't about greed. It's about perspective. Picture the world 10 years from now. Bitcoin has matured. Governments hold it as part of their reserves. Corporations list it on balance sheets. Energy companies mine it directly from their grids. ETF providers, exchanges, and custodians lock away millions of coins for long-term storage. The free float, the liquid supply, shrinks each year. In that world, 0.1 Bitcoin isn't just an amount. It's a position in the network's power structure. The line between small holder and sovereign participant blurs, and the more institutions accumulate, the more valuable individual sovereignty becomes. The ability to hold, move, and verify your own money without anyone's permission will separate those who own value from those who merely use it. You don't need to outtrade Wall Street, you just need to outlast it. And 0.1 Bitcoin, held through the noise, can do exactly that. Most people think wealth is about how much you own, but true wealth is about what can't be taken from you. Bitcoin redefines that. It gives ordinary people access to something once reserved for nations, a store of value independent of trust. With 0.1 Bitcoin, you're not necessarily rich in dollars, but you're rich in time. Because while the rest of the world trades hours for inflating currency, you hold a slice of absolute scarcity, and that changes the equation of life itself. Inflation can't dilute it, politicians can't devalue it, banks can't freeze it. That's not fantasy, that's mathematics and code. So when you hold 0.1 Bitcoin, you're not betting on a price. You're buying the one thing fiat can't give you: freedom. Every era has its blind spots. In the 1990s, people mocked the idea of paying for digital domains. 2 decades later, a few words online were worth millions. Bitcoin is following the same path, but this time it's not about data, it's about value itself. The question isn't, how much Bitcoin do you own? It's how soon did you understand what you were owning? Because once the world wakes up to scarcity, it won't be about buying Bitcoin anymore. It'll be about finding someone willing to sell. The window is still open, but not for long. Every block mined, every key lost, every institution that joins tightens the network's grip on time and value. You don't need to own a whole Bitcoin to win this race. You just need to understand why you're running it. Zoom out. Scarcity is wealth, conviction is power. If you'd rather get signal than spin, subscribe and join the climb. Because Bitcoin doesn't wait.